What's going on, everybody? It's ETAPRIME back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at some accessories that I've been using for the ASUS ROG Ally. Now, there's a lot of stuff here, and some of it really does come in handy. Some of it may be needed for some people who need a little more storage so they can hold more games here. But really, when it comes down to it, all of these accessories are 100% optional. You can pull the Ally right out of the box, and of course, we've got a release coming up really soon. If you put your pre-order in with Best Buy, you should be getting it by the 13th of this month. And if you've been waiting for a good Windows-based handheld, then you will not be disappointed with the Ally. All of these accessories have been tested with the unit I have here, and if you're rocking a different handheld, like let's say an Aya Neo, a Steam Deck, or even a 1X player, a lot of this stuff also makes sense for those also. I will leave links in the description to where you can get each one of these, but with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into it. The first thing that I think is really important when buying, let's say, a device with a large exposed screen like this is a screen protector. The protectors that I have here are 9H hardness. They are full glass, and if you don't want to go with glass, you can always go with a film if you wanted to. Personally, I like these glass protectors. Some of them come in 2-packs, some of them come in 3-packs, and they're not much different from other protectors on the market for, let's say, other handhelds, or especially mobile devices like phones or tablets. There's going to be a ton of them listed up on Amazon. D-Brand also has one, and I've used the D-Brand glass screen protectors on my Steam Deck. Super easy application, and it just has the correct fit. And if you want to spend a little more money and get the best quality, I would suggest getting, one of those name brands like a D brand. But if you're looking to save some cash, you can pick some of these up on Amazon for around $8.99. And this actually had a 5% off coupon. I've seen it fluctuate between 5% off and 8% off. But going down the list, you're going to see a ton of them available for the ROG Ally. Next up, we're talking about micro SD cards. The Ally utilizes a UHS 2 slot here, and you can go lower than that if you want to. Really, the benefit of having a faster card like a UHS 2 would be your download speeds while downloading your games directly to that micro SD card. Load times can also be increased from a slower card by a little bit, but it's not going to make a super huge difference for your load times. Really, the main benefit here would be your download speed, so we could download at the full potential of our Wi-Fi or Ethernet, depending on how you want to download your games. But the UHS 2 cards can get quite expensive. If you can afford it, I would suggest getting UHS 2, but UHS 1 is also going to work really well for loading up games. But what I've been using is a 512 gigabyte Team Group card that I picked up for $30. I think it was actually on sale for $28 when I bought it a couple weeks ago. So definitely keep an eye out, but just keep in mind, even if you get one of the UHS 1 cards, load times aren't going to be affected as much as download speeds to that card. Battery life is a huge deal when it comes to these handhelds, but luckily ASUS has packed in a 65-watt charger, so you can actually charge the battery up from 0 to 100% in 1.4 hours on the Ally. But when you're on the go and don't have an extra outlet to plug into, I would suggest some type of portable battery. This here is a 20,000 milliamp hour base US battery pack. It'll do up to 65 watt PD fast charging. It's got USB-C, 2 full-size USB ports, and micro USB just in case. This is the battery bank that I've been using with the Steam Deck. It served me very well, and if I need to charge up my phone on the go, I can also do it. We've got plenty of ports here. Also has an LED readout, which will tell us what we have left in the battery, and it'll also give us a charge rate indicator. It'll give us voltage and wattage through that LED indicator, and you can charge it up with the 65-watt charger that came with the ASUS Ally. So you don't need an extra one, but you will need some type of USB Type C cable. And the one that I've been using is actually pretty cool. These are a lot cheaper than I thought. It supports up to 100-watt PD charging, and it's got an LED readout on it. Not super necessary, you can always go with something else, but for around $12, I think it's well worth it. They sell them in different lengths, 3 foot, 6 foot, 10 foot. I think I've got the 6 foot here. I bought a couple of them, but I really do like this, and I've been using it with a lot of my handhelds recently, even charging from the wall using a PD fast charger. Like I mentioned, the base US battery bank does have an LED readout, which will give us the wattage, at least the voltage and amps. But, if you're not using one of those and you just want a little more information while charging your battery, the cables are awesome. But checking this out, you can see we're at 20 volts, 2.5 amps. And if we multiply those, you'll see that this is charging at the same rate it's telling us, 45 to 54 watts. But my Ally's battery is already kind of topped up, so we're not doing 65 out. But yeah, having an extra battery to carry along with you will give you a couple more hours of runtime out of your handheld. And again, these USB Type-C cables with the LED readout are great. I've been using it a lot with other devices and other chargers that I have. But one downside is I cannot do video out of these USB Type-C cables. But for charging, they're awesome. Okay, so this next one here is one that I've been using quite a bit with a lot of different handhelds that I have. This is the ROG Gaming Charger Dock. It's not just a charger, it actually has HDMI out. You plug this into the wall, USB Type-C cable that comes included plugs into your device that supports video over USB Type-C, and you can go directly to a monitor. 65 watt PD charging, so we can get the full potential out of the Ally while it's plugged in. And it also has a single USB 2.0 port, so you can plug in a keyboard and mouse or even storage if you wanted to. Really do like this, cool idea, but if you don't have enough room by your desk or by your TV even, then you might just want to go with, let's say, a USB dock that has HDMI over USB Type-C. But this has come in really handy, and again, it does a full 65 watt PD charging, so when the Ally's plugged in, we can go to those higher wattages. I personally call it dock mode, and I've done videos on it. This thing performs absolutely amazing at those higher wattages. The final thing that I've been using here with the Ally is more of an upgrade. It's a larger SSD. It's actually really easy to get into the Ally and upgrade this. I've done a full tutorial on how to install a new SSD, but remember, the Ally utilizes a 2230 NVMe SSD just like the Steam Deck, but we can get faster speeds because it supports PCIe 4.0. I picked up a 1TB Inland TN436, and that's what I have inside of the Ally right now. I've got it paired up with that 512GB card, so I've got 1.5 terabytes of storage with the ROG Ally, and these are coming in a little over $100, so around $106, and sometimes this is cheaper than a 1TB micro SD card, and you're going to get those super fast PCIe 4.0 speeds. Easy to add storage, but one thing here, if you want to go over 1TB, it's going to cost you. On average, you're paying $103 per terabyte here, but if you wanted to go with those larger 2TB drives, it's going to hold you over for much longer. They're coming in at around $200 to $230 depending on the brand, but these are all 2230 PCIe 4.0 drives. I went with 1TB because I knew I could pair it up with a micro SD card easily, and it served me very, very well. It's still a bit early for the Ally, but I figured I'd go ahead and get this first video out of the way. Of course, we're going to see a lot more accessories for the Ally once it releases to the public. We're going to see cases, different screen protectors, maybe some type of extra cooling like we did with the Steam Deck. And I will do a video on some of my favorites once everything's released, but these are accessories that I personally tested right now. A lot of this stuff will come in handy for a lot of people, but again, they're not 100% necessary. You can pull the Ally out of the box, sign in, boot it up, start downloading your favorite games, and play it just like it is. But if you wanted to get a little more out of it, these are my suggestions and ideas for different accessories for the Ally. I will leave links in the description to everything we talked about here, and if you've got any questions, let me know down below. But that's it for this one. Like always, thanks for watching.